We know awkward fighters. Real fighters know awkward fighters. He's not an awkward fighter. He's just a dumb fighter.
You trying to kill me or I'm trying to kill you. You know, I think it's, let's go in here and make this money. You know, it's more of a business tactic than anything.
Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. You have the Paul brothers and they come over to boxing. Their idea from day one is we don't have the skills or the experience. What we're gonna do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're gonna spot us some pounds.
At the press conference, Gervonta Davis turned up the heat by issuing a direct warning to Jake Paul. He vowed to end the fight in brutal fashion, leaving no room for doubt about the result. Davis declared his intention to knock Jake out and secure the payday, speaking with complete confidence in both his power and determination.
He's a fighter that just started fighting. That's, you know how when somebody first come in the gym and like yeah. When somebody first come in the gym and they've been coming for like a little minute, so they think they nice now. They ain't get all the everything down pat, but that's how he fight. I don't think he's not like he's an awkward fighter. Awkward is somebody, I don't want to call no names, but awkward is like different from him. He's not awkward. We know awkward fighters. Real fighters know awkward fighters. He's not an awkward fighter. He's just a dumb fighter.
Eddie Hearn didn't mince words when addressing the unusual matchup between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. He stressed that there's a clear line between real boxing and staged entertainment, and this fight belongs firmly in the latter. In his view, it's not about skill or sporting merit, but about creating a spectacle to grab attention. Hearn even laughed at the idea, calling it hilarious, while warning fans not to mistake such exhibitions for elite professional boxing. His reaction reflects broader concerns among traditional promoters that entertainment-driven fights risk overshadowing the true spirit of the sport.
In Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis, what can you tell me about that? What can you tell me about why Jake and Anthony has maybe been put to the side for now?
Yeah, they always told us that it was, you know, we were looking at that fight for February of next year, and they always said that there was a chance that Jake would fight in November. I think, wasn't I the one that broke Jake Paul against Gervonta Davis 6 months ago or something? I knew that they'd agree that deal. I didn't know they were about to announce it then, but I did know that they'd agreed that deal previously. So I don't like it, if I'm honest. I mean, I think we need to really differentiate between boxing and an entertainment concept, and that's what that is. It's a freak show. It's entertainment. It's a lightweight fighting a cruiserweight. You know, with, I don't know, is it bigger gloves and certain minutes per round? I don't know what it is, but, you know, I understand the market and I understand this freak show shock kind of the world mentality of people potentially tuning in. Is that a step too far? Maybe. I mean, I hated Jake Paul against Mike Tyson, but it did massive numbers. I hate Jake Paul against Gervonta Davis. It'll probably do massive numbers. So that's when you really have to differentiate yourself between, just because you don't like it doesn't mean it isn't going to do good business. Now, whether you want to be involved with it is another kettle of fish. I don't want to be involved with it, but I do respect the fact that it's going to do big numbers.
Ariel Helwani offered a different take, noting that fans often embrace unconventional spectacles in MMA but react negatively when boxing does the same. He called this an unfair double standard. While acknowledging that Davis versus Paul isn't traditional boxing, Helwani argued it still carries entertainment value that many will enjoy. He stressed the fight shouldn't be judged by the same standards as title bouts or sanctioned events, but appreciated as a one-off show. In his view, if audiences can accept spectacle fights in other combat sports, boxing fans should be open to enjoying this matchup without excessive criticism.
Generally, I'm sure it'll be a little bit closer, maybe 200 to 150, how much bigger can Tank get? Why would that be somewhat celebrated in MMA, but in boxing it isn't? Do you know what I mean, Pizzi? In MMA, like, we sort of love the freak shows, but in boxing they don't. Why do you think that is? What does that say about us in MMA?
Well, we're a sick bunch of fucks, there's no doubt about that. But I will say...
You agree, right, or no?
Yeah, like, the idea of the MMA freak show is everybody coming together and saying, oh, we're going to watch a freak show. This is what this is. We know what this is. It is absolutely mental, what we're going to watch here. I think where people get annoyed with Jake is, like, you know, he even got me. You know what I mean? This guy is the greatest outrage farmer of all time. I saw his tweet and I was like, oh. reading it, you know what I mean? And I was like, well, this is exactly what he fucking wants me to do. You know, like this is every time I'm doing this, he's in the game of getting eyeballs, and this is ridiculous. As long as, like, you know, why do I like an MMA freak show? Why would I watch Eddie Hall in an MMA fight against Dylan Dennis? I'd be like, this is fucking ridiculous, and I have to watch it. That's the way I feel about Jake Paul and Davis. I will watch it. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's all of us getting together to go to the circus for the evening. I think the reason why there's pushback against it when Jake does it is because Jake, and obviously tactfully, is going like, what are you talking about? This guy's a world champion. I took out Mike Tyson. He's a world champion. And then I'm going to take out Canelo and stuff like this. Like, he's winding us up. He's not agreeing to the stipulation that we're all agreeing on, which is this is a freak show. This is absolutely mental. As long as we can agree with that, we can all enjoy it collectively.
Chael Sonnen took a harsher stance, dismissing Jake Paul's legitimacy as a boxer. He argued that the Paul brothers lack true boxing fundamentals and instead lean on their fame and wealth to land fights with high-profile names. Sonnen pointed out the pattern of Jake selecting opponents who are accomplished fighters or legends, despite the clear gap in technical skill. To him, these matchups aren't about fairness or competition, but about leveraging money and influence for attention. His blunt critique echoed the views of many who see the fight as a business spectacle rather than a genuine test of boxing talent.
Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. You have the Paul brothers and they come over to boxing. Their idea from day one is we don't have the skills or the experience. What we're gonna do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're gonna spot us some pounds. Tank has one job to do, that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skills, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. Tank is telling anybody that will listen that there's a size problem. My skills and my experience in boxing, I do not have to wonder who's in the bar tonight. Any bar I go to, I rule the bar. No, it turns out that you don't. Just need some big guy to corner you, apparently. Boxing has never stood its ground. Boxing has never been able to explain why Floyd needed a half hour to get rid of a guy who's never boxed before. Tank Davis has already began this. When you choose a dum-dum, don't be surprised when he goes out and acts like a dum-dum.
The size difference between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul is one of the most debated issues surrounding this exhibition. Davis is a natural lightweight, while Paul fights closer to cruiserweight, making the weight gap massive. This has led to speculation that the match could already be predetermined. Some analysts claim that no matter what the result is, the fight benefits Jake Paul far more than Davis. If Jake wins, he gains credibility by beating a star boxer. If Davis wins, critics will dismiss it as irrelevant due to the size mismatch. Such suspicions have fueled rumors that the outcome may already be fixed to favor Paul's career trajectory.
He should beat Jake Paul, shouldn't he?
No, he shouldn't.
You don't think? Sorry. So, I thought we were all unanimous here. Do you think Jake Paul beats Gervonta Davis?
70 pounds is 70 pounds.
Gervonta Davis is very small. 5'5".
He's tiny, bruv.
We got Jake Paul
He's a little
6'1".
man.
If Jake Paul's tucking up
Move on.
and absorbing punishment and walking forward, then look, there's a way.
Ryan Garcia drew parallels between this matchup and past controversial bouts in boxing history, like Mike Tyson's exhibition fights that fans never really demanded. He admitted that the public isn't asking for Davis versus Paul either, but emphasized that the sport often moves forward with such spectacles anyway. Garcia pointed out the major size difference, arguing the fight is unfair before it even begins. In his view, while fans may dislike the idea, they'll ultimately have to accept it because the hype and financial incentives are simply too strong to stop.
Bro, that's a fucking disgrace of a fight.
Yeah.
You know it. Just like Mike Tyson, low-key was a disgrace, but we accepted it, but he was 60 years old. I mean, the casuals don't see the weight difference. They see Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis. And if Gervonta Davis doesn't fuck up Jake Paul, they're going to think Jake Paul is some pound-for-pound champion type of fighter. Gervonta Davis, he's actually really small. Like, when I fought him, he's small. So I just think it's a very unfair fight.
Jake Paul stirred up even more drama by pulling one of his trademark publicity stunts, smashing a cake shaped like Davis in a mocking gesture meant to humiliate his rival. While clearly designed to provoke, the act succeeded in generating headlines and online buzz, showcasing Paul's knack for mind games and spectacle-driven promotion. As for the actual fight, the surreal sight of Davis facing a much larger opponent will be striking. Despite the size gap, Davis carries major advantages in speed, skill, and defense. His sharp footwork and counterpunching could neutralize Paul's reach and power, creating an intriguing clash of skill versus size. Even Terence Crawford, widely regarded as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters, brushed off the Davis vs. Paul matchup as anything but serious. He questioned how a promoter could justify pairing a 195-pound fighter against someone from 135 pounds, calling it less of a legitimate contest and more of a business stunt. Crawford's reaction echoed the skepticism of many in the boxing community who view the event as spectacle over sport, underscoring the ongoing divide between genuine competition and entertainment-driven exhibitions.
So crazy. Why is Gervonta Davis fighting a guy that big? There is some interest to that because you're not going to see Gervonta Davis. You're going to be able to see Gervonta Davis's feet. That's what I'm going to be interested to see because I don't think Gervonta's going to jump out there and try to run up into Jake Paul and try to knock Jake Paul out. What I think Gervonta is going to do is Gervonta is going to move his feet, just going to move, make Jake Paul miss a lot, make Jake Paul look really dumb just by using defense on him and making him swing at the wind because that is going to be very tough for him to hit a guy that is that little. If you play basketball, for example, and you are a tall 6'1" guy and you try to stand in front of some 5'8", real quick 5'8" guy, trust me, their first steps are gone up out of there, those little teeny weeny dudes. So that's going to be very fun and interesting to watch how that goes down. Now, on the other side, you know what Jake Paul's going to do. He don't have no consciousness. He doesn't have a conscience about what he's trying to do. He's going to go in there try to hurt a 60-year-old Mike Tyson. He don't care. He wanted to hit Nate. He's way bigger than Nate Jones when he fought Nate Jones. You think he didn't care about hitting Nate Jones upside the head? He's definitely going to be looking to try to get as much as he can get off on Gervonta Davis and I see him trying to run up on him, trying to maul him, trying to grab him, trying to club him, trying to do all kind of craziness, man. And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting thing to watch. Now, let me tell you what I really hope, and I haven't seen for this particular card, but I know that I know it's going to be good, which is the undercard. The undercard for the Canelo Alvarez fight and Terence Crawford fight is absolutely horrendous. There's nothing on the thing that would make you want to watch to tune into that.
Today's video. Thanks for watching, and make sure to stay tuned for more updates, breakdowns, and analysis coming your way soon.